back to the program. You're watching Morning Thailand with Phai and Golf. And of course, like Kun Phai said, we're going to talk a little bit more about in terms of politics and what will be in terms of the People Council. But before that, I have a little bit of updates. Apparently, yesterday was another, or the day before, is another interesting day for Thai politics because it's marked the expiration of the 5 years that there were 109 MPs that were banned from politics. Obviously, that's involved the other governments and such. Well, they're out of that ban because it's expired already. So they're coming back to join Thai politics. So
already.
This will be very interesting because obviously with the situation that we have right now, it just seemed like, I don't know, some might say it's too soon, but of course, this is not unexpected. We know that it tends to happen even though they are, sitting back, sitting in the back seat for a while. Once their terms is done, they serve their term, like let's just say that, on the bench, they will come back. And of course, at this time, several of them actually joined the Pheu Thai party, which is not a surprise at all. And they say that apart from that, Prime Minister also talked about a little bit about her, I would say, easing a little bit in terms of the political tension that has been ongoing. She was quite happy with the fact that yesterday there's no violence in terms of trying to seize the government house. So Prime Minister talked about this particular incident yesterday at about 5 p.m., saying that after, the oath of allegiance and such, she said that she was quite happy and quite pleased with the fact that everything is going quite smoothly and everybody's are actually united. And she said that at this point, even though it's not turning back to the normalcy yet, but it seems like it's going on the positive side. So she's still pressed in terms of asking the military as well as the police to make sure that everything is done without shedding any blood or any violence instigating against the public itself. Now, yesterday at 11:30, Kun Somchai Wongsawat of the Pheu Thai party also took all the 109 MPs to join, to go back and sign in as the Pheu Thai MPs as well. Now, at this point, they say that all the Palang Prachachon, they call them, party.
The People's Power.
The People Power, there you go. This is the former, they say, the former members of the People Power Party, including Dr. Prasong Bunpong, as well as Kun Nopadon Pathama. This is one of the names that is quite well known that we have heard of before, and several others to actually take pictures, as you see. And of course, after 5 years of being banned from the politics, they are coming back. I have to correct myself a little bit. This is not 109 MPs altogether. I think it's 109 is the number of the house that they were situated in. It's almost like an address. Yeah, so they say that 109's house, I guess, political house. I'm not
because
quite sure.
Because earlier we have 110, and that's the house address
of
the party's headquarters.
This is create quite a bit of confusion, isn't it? Because they use the house numbers instead of the actual number. However, moving on, they say that at this point, all the MPs that joining the Pheu Thai party were saying that, well, after they served their term, they have been behaving quite nicely. They did not interfere in politics and such. But at this time, it's their right to come back and join Thai politics once again. And they would like to become, to join the election and hopefully trying to create a little bit more benefits for the society. Now, at this point, a lot of people are actually looking in terms of what direction this will take the Pheu Thai party to, because obviously there's a lot of veteran politicians joining this particular party once again, and with this crazy politics, we're not sure whether or not this might help in terms of positive side, because obviously these politicians have their own strongholds, have their own base voters as well. So maybe it might help with the Pheu Thai party voting as well.
And that would happen in case there was a new round of election. However, yesterday there was a talk, an announcement by the Prime Minister Kun Yingluck Shinawatra earlier in the evening that she called for the academics, businessmen, the anti-government protesters and members of the public from all walks of life to take part in the discussion on the People's Council, because earlier Kun Yingluck Shinawatra said that she could not accept the demands of the protesters or the core leader Kun Suthep Theu Suban, saying, telling her to give back the power to the people because she has no idea what that means. Because Kun Suthep said that even the dissolution of the House or a new round of election is not the answer for the protesters. The demand that the protesters are calling for. So the Prime Minister has invited the private sector to be part of the People's Forum first to help restore the confidence of tourists and investors, because it seems that economy had been affected quite a lot. Especially tourism, from the ongoing demonstration. She even called on the media to report on the ongoing political conflict constructively and avoid encouraging hatred and stir hatred among Thai people. Yesterday, Surapong Towichakchaikul, the Deputy Prime Minister, also said that the government had shown sincerity already in wanting to ease the tension by allowing the protesters to get inside the government house and the Metropolitan Police Bureau premises. Kun Surapong, who is also in charge of the CAPO, the Center for the Administration of Peace and Order, said the government would not let the state official use violence against the protesters any longer. Talking about the protesters itself and Kun Suthep Theu Suban's demand for the establishment of the People's Assembly or the People's Council there, Kun Surapong said the government would like to see the proposal in detail, because without the detail, they had no idea what they're going to do. They had consulted with the Prime Ministers already and the government had already talked about that, but they're not sure what the protesters are demanding for. Meanwhile, Kun Thirak, the government spokesperson, said that the Prime Minister appointed Deputy Prime Minister Phongthep Thepkanchana and also the Justice Minister Kun Chaikasem Nittisiri to oversee the forum at yesterday's cabinet meeting as well. Kun Yingluck stressed the need for all sectors to come together to help end the ongoing political demonstration through negotiation and other peaceful channels. And at the cabinet meeting yesterday, the cabinet assigned the Public Health Minister Kun Pradit Sinthawannarong, Deputy Public Health Minister Sorawong Thianthong, Social Security and Human Security Minister Kun Pawina Hongsakul, and Kun Santi Prampat, the Prime Minister's Office Minister, to visit and oversee the care for people that have been injured in the protests over the past few days. And that was the movement from the government side. And yesterday as well, as there was an event at Hua Hin in Prachuap Khiri Khan province, and a lot of reporters were there. Supreme Commander General Thanasak Patimapakon said that he would be calling a meeting between the armed forces commanders after the royal ceremony of His Majesty the King's birthday on December the 5th to discuss the ways of solving the current political conflict in the country. And that's according to the Air Chief Marshal Prajin Chantong.
Now, with that, I'm going to add very, very quickly, because I try to find out what is 109, whether or not it's executives, because the thing is quite a conflict in the newspapers, in the Council newspaper itself. Now, just to shed some light into this particular set of politicians that coming back to join politics, is that on December the 2nd of 2008, the Constitution Court ordered the dissolution of People Power Party, right? Like I said, but also the Chhat Thai Party, as well as the Machima Thipatai Party. So that's why the executives of all these parties, 109 of them all together, were actually banned for 5 years. But not all of them were actually from the People's Power Party. So at this point, they say that one of the biggest names would be Kun Banhan Silapa Acha, of course, that right now out of the ban already. So probably, well, we have seen him in politics for quite a bit.
Kun
for
Banan
some
even
time.
talked about forming a new party already.
Yeah, so at this point, that's just to shed some light to you. 109 executives, all the MPs, in terms of, I think they were election fraud that they were, has been charged of, and that's why they got banned for 5 years. But at this point, we'll see some familiar faces yet. Now, with that, we're going to take a short break, because apparently Kun Chain will talk to us a little bit about the
Confusion yesterday.
Yeah, confusion and a lot of the, I guess, civil rights and
Yeah.
whether or not Thai people, some of us are actually quite confused about that particular rights and whether or not we exercise it correctly. So let's stay tuned and listen to Kun Chain.